We have a video leak here involving Donald Trump. He was on Access Hollywood with Billy Bush, and he had a hot mic moment where he said some really questionable things.
You know, and
she used to be great. She's still very beautiful.
I moved on her, actually. You know, she was down in Palm Beach. I moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it.
Whoa.
I did try and fuck her. She was married.
Huge news there.
No, Nancy.
Yeah.
No, this was marriages. And I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch. But I couldn't get there. And she was married. And all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look.
Your girl's hot as shit. In the purple.
Whoa!
Yes!
Whoa!
Yes, the Donald has scored! Oh, my man! Wait, you gotta look at me when you get out of your
sets this up.
That is very.
Will you give me the thumbs
Look
up?
at you. You are a piece.
You gotta put the thumbs up. You gotta get the thumbs up. Can't be too happy.
First? Yeah, let me.
It's very
You
funny.
gotta give me the thumbs up.
All right, you and I will walk down.
Oh my god.
Maybe it's a different one.
Better not be the publicist. No, it's her. It's
Yeah, that's her, with the gold. I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just like, I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. I can do anything.
Yeah. Okay, so let's break this down. From the top, he says, talking about, I don't know, somebody he was working with at the time, I did try and fuck her. Now, the argument from the Trump campaign today is, and over the weekend was, well, look, locker room talk. That's what it is. This locker room talk. So far, yeah, that does fall under the category of locker room talk, although you do understand that at the time he was married and the woman he was trying to fuck was married. Now, again, I'm not somebody to make the family values argument. I really largely don't give a shit what you do with your dick or your genitals in general. But they say they do. So there is massive hypocrisy because evangelical Christians, one of the first things they care about, tell them about your moral values and how you treat your family, because that speaks to your character. So we got to make sure you ain't no kind of homo or nothing like that. Got to make sure you ain't an adulterer and nothing like that. And this just, proves that he is that. So again, this isn't something where liberals should be, I'm so outraged. But it is something where you should say to evangelical Christians, wait. You say you care about this, so now why don't you care about it? Imagine for a second this was a tape of President Obama saying it before he became president. There wouldn't be a single evangelical Christian in the country who didn't lose their mind. They would be calling for investigations and prosecutions. I mean, this, are you kidding me? The first black president before he became the first black president saying, yeah, I tried to fuck her. Talking about somebody who was married while he was married. We all know they would care. We all know, but when it's Donald Trump, because hypocrisy is not a thing to them. When they violate their own moral code, I meant well, so whatever. No, but again, if you say you care about these things, then fucking care about them. Mike Pence, super Jesus-y. What's he doing? Sticking right by Donald Trump after this tape. Okay, so that's the first point. I don't care, no liberal should care, but you should point out to evangelical Christians, you say you care about stuff like this, so why don't you care now? Why don't you care? Because you're a fucking hypocrite, and you don't actually care when it's you just want to use those arguments against people you disagree with politically. Okay, so that's the first thing. I do file that under locker room talk. You could say, I don't, if you believe in that kind of philosophy, that the personal lives matter, you could say, I don't like that Trump would do something like this. Then it gets a little worse. I better have some Tic Tacs because sometimes I just start kissing women. Like, I don't really get that. Like, what is that? I don't know exactly what that means. Like, okay, you pop Tic Tacs, then you just, like, randomly mid-conversation, boom, you're going in. But that is kind of what he means. Like, okay, mid-conversation, that's like, sometimes I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. He says it. That's what I do. I can't help myself sometimes. Okay, that's starting to get really creepy. But then the actual problem comes in where he says, when you're a star, you can do anything you want. You can just grab their pussy. He's describing snap sexual decisions where consent at best is a massive gray area. I go, sometimes I can't help it. Let me put some texting. Sometimes I just start kissing them. I just start kissing them. And you can do anything. When you're a star, they let you do anything. Just grab them by the pussy. Now, I don't deny that maybe in Trump's mind, he thinks like, no, totally, they want it. I'm a star. They want it. Do you really know? And do you really care if that they're on the fence about it or they don't want it? Just, floating that. And guess what? Since this story came out, we have reports. They, of course, didn't want it. And he just did it. Which is exactly what he's describing. Yeah, just do it. Yeah, whatever, I'm a star, so they'll accept it. Sometimes I kiss them, sometimes I grab their pussy. Erin Burnett on CNN said a friend of hers was working with Donald Trump on a project. He just started kissing her. She's like, I didn't fucking want it. It was ridiculous. It's this fucking large guy coming at me, starts kissing me. I didn't want it. Other stories too. There's been multiple stories now. At least 3 different stories of women saying, that's actually exactly what he did to me, and I did not want it. Okay, is this a real story? Yeah, this is a real story, because he's basically admitting, I kind of do sexual assault. That's what it is. I kind of do it. Guys, look, don't get me wrong. I've said from the beginning, you can't run a PC outrage-based campaign against Donald Trump. You just can't, because I don't think that works, and I think it's rather stupid. And there are many examples of trying to use the PC outrage against him, like, oh, he curses a lot. That's so not classy. I don't like that. Okay, but whatever. He's an adult. He's running for an adult position. I don't care if he uses bad language. That's not an argument that makes sense. If in this situation, the tape just cut off at the, look, I tried to fuck her. She's married. He's married. Even then, I would say it's okay to point out the hypocrisy for evangelical Christians that they still support him after that. But I wouldn't say it's this really big scandal. But what he says is he's kind of admitting that he does sexual assault. Now we have women who say that's what he did to me and I didn't like it. No, that's a real issue. That's not PC outrage. That's a guy with a really fucked up moral compass. I don't know. And this idea of like, well, guys say that, guys do that. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. All right, look, I'm no angel by any stretch of the imagination. Believe me, tremendous. I'm not. That was never a thought that ever occurred to me. Let me just fucking randomly kiss women and hope to get away with it, basically. And sometimes I just grab their pussy. And I just do it. No! Again, if it was framed in a way where it's crystal clear that he's talking about consensual sex, whatever. He's framing it in a way where he's letting you know, like, it's not, there's a very good chance it wasn't consensual. And now women are saying, yeah, it wasn't consensual. That's a real fucking issue. Now, as a final point, I don't know why this is the story, though, that where it seems like now the straw broke the camel's back. There have been maybe about 10 Republicans who have unendorsed him, across the board. People are expressing outrage over it. Look, I don't know what's up with that. Because, to be clear, evangelical Christians still love him. But there are, like, Ralph Reed, is that his name? Yeah, one of the top evangelical guys. He still endorsed him. But some Republicans are leaving him. But I don't get why was it this and not when he said on Fox and Friends, I want to kill civilians, we have to, quote, take out their families, talking about terrorists. Not just the terrorists, the, quote, families of terrorists. That's the point. That's the point. The dude said, let's target civilians, and there were crickets in the media. The dude said, let's bring back torture. I want to bring back worse than waterboarding. I want to torture, quote, even if it doesn't work. There were crickets in the media. The dude said, let's pull out of the Geneva Conventions. International law, it doesn't apply to us, and I'm going to admit that it doesn't apply to us. Fucking crickets in the media. Now this, finally the thing. This is finally the thing. I don't understand the selective... Well, actually, you know what? That's not true. I do kind of get it, because this is about sex, and this is about personal stuff, and it's not about policy, so it doesn't require people to be intelligent and to explain it to the American people. So it's just, more of a visceral, like, ooh, he's talking about naughty parts, and then people discuss it as a result of that. And again, don't get me wrong, it is a huge story. He's basically admitting he does sexual assault. But I find it amazing that in the hierarchy, it's like people are putting unwanted sexual advancement, like, above terrorism. Because he said, I want to kill civilians on purpose. It's a weird world that we live in. This does appear to be having an effect. I don't know exactly how much of an effect it will have in terms of the poll numbers. He still is Tefloned on to a certain extent. But it does do damage. It does do damage overall. And it should do damage. I just wish that the other things that also should have done damage did more damage. And people had called for him. Like, there were calls, some people were saying, drop out, drop out, drop out. I would have liked those calls too when he said, let's target civilians. I would have liked those calls too when he said, I'm the king of debt, and I would just make a deal on U.S. debt. Like, so you're going to make the U.S. insolvent? That's what you're going to do? Causing a worldwide depression? I would have liked calls for him to step down when he shows the deepest economic ignorance. He has no clue what the fuck he's talking about. But no, doesn't happen for that. Happens for this. I guess I'll take it where I can get it. But it's a strange world we live in where some stories blow up, other stories don't blow up. But yes, is this something that speaks to his character? I don't know how anybody can argue otherwise, and I find a lot of the silly strawmans on this just mind-numbingly stupid. Like, some people on the right are trying to say, oh yeah, well, everybody's just angry he used the word pussy. No, that's not why people are angry. I'm pretty sure people are angry because... Best case scenario, absolute best case scenario, he's expressing a massive gray area with consent. He's like, yeah, I just do it. But what's more likely, and now we kind of know because of the women coming out of the woodworks, is there wasn't consent, and he just does it. That's why people are angry. It's not because he used the word pussy, and it's not because he's loose sexually. That's got nothing to do with it.